Hello and welcome, I am Arumba, thank you for joining me. Let's do another Arumba's Assay. This is an Ireland save. The year is 1551, it's August. This save came from a gentleman named Richard. He says he has a save when he was going for the Ireland achievement. He started as Sligo, he formed Ireland, he's taken most of the British Isles, started colonizing. However, the problem that he always seems to end up with is that he has no manpower and no income in most of his games. In this game, it led to him losing a war against some New World natives, which demoralized him completely. He hasn't touched the save for about a month, but when he saw the series, he was hoping I could show him how to salvage this save and make it something that he could do, or if he should just start over. So, I've got a list of things to talk about. Hopefully we can get this all squared away in an episode or so. I've decided what I'm going to do from here on out is if I notice that someone does not have the same DLCs that I do, like they have fewer DLCs than what is available, I just won't use those features. But I noticed that he has used the Call Diet before, so he definitely does have this DLC, so we're going to use these interactions. But first things first, let's take a look at the overall state of the country. We're making 19 gross ducats with 26.57 ducats in expenses for a net of 7.35 negative. We have 2,500 ducats in debt, and that's kind of not good. We got some war exhaustion. We are currently at peace. I guess we probably just recently lost that war, is maybe what happened. Let's see. The triumphant Irish conquest of that place lasted 8 years. Whoa, okay. So Irish conquest of another place lasted for 3 years. I guess I don't really know when the actual war was that he lost, but currently we have this really not very good looking battle going on right now with our rebels over here. We've got a 1-1-1 infantry combat ability leader who is currently in charge of this fight. I don't know if we're actually going to win that fight. It does not look very good. We are not at force limit. We have room for more boats. Army tradition's quite high. We have exploration into quality into trade. And this was kind of interesting to me. We're focused on admin, even though we're 6 years ahead of time on admin tech and nearly capped on admin points. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to switch over to military focus, because we are, not only are we skewed tremendously towards admin anyway, but we're the most behind in in military tech. So much so that we're actually getting corruption each year due to unbalanced research. So we need to get military tech caught up. And this, honestly, Richard, this is probably why you lost the war against the natives. You could be on military tech 12 right now, and you're only on tech 9. You never ever want to fall behind on military tech. At most, maybe 1 or 2, and only then if you are sure you can still beat your enemies, even if you fall behind, and usually that's only going to happen if you're powering through a military idea group. So we need to get that done. We've got some Potawatomi separatists. Let's go ahead and ship some of our troops home, or not home, but over there. We're gonna go ahead and try to salvage the economy here for a bit. So I'm gonna actually take these guys, and we're gonna disband these troops here, not re-up them. We have 11 transports, so let's send the quality troops over. We'll go with that army there, 623. Let's get them onto the boats, and we're going to go dump them probably in Unami. Let's put the Admiral here so that we get a little bit more maneuver speed, 15% more movement. I don't know if you have access to Naval Doctrine. I'm guessing you don't, since you haven't clicked this button yet. If you do, I would probably turn on either ship trade power or possibly the chance to capture enemy ships. I feel like that one's one of the best. But it's 120 ducats. Let's just assume that you don't have the DLC, and we'll just turn that alert off for now. You can make states. Wessex and Yorkshire, I think we definitely want to make it as states. I'm not sure why you have not yet done that, but we're going to do it right now. We definitely need to let the autonomy start decaying down, and I don't know if these are full cores or not, but we're going to core them if they aren't. So Cornwall, Devon, Dorset, Hampshire, Hull. We have Nipmuc, which we conquered recently, causing overextension. We definitely want to get that core started. Now that these are assigned to states and state slots, we can assign these to actual estates, which will give us even more benefit from them. Let's see, we've got some copper down there, currently worth quite a bit, but it's a 211. Can't give that to the burghers, not enough development, no estuary. If possible, we're going to want to give a lot of this to the clergy right now, because they're going to help out with conversion. That's another thing I noticed, is that he has very, very recently switched over to Protestant. So we're going to give everything to the clergy here, and as long as they're loyal, more than 60%, that's going to increase missionary strength by 2%. In there, you'll see loyal Catholics plus 2%. Loyal Catholics, that's not it. No, controlled by clergy plus 2% is what we're looking for. Now, we currently have the 10% bonus to conversion speed from flipping over to Protestant, but what we're going to do is sort by highest religious unity. I do want to just check real quick and see where the actual Center of Reformation is. We didn't get one of the Protestant centers of Reformation, it looks like. That's unfortunate. Okay. So next time you want to try to maybe make that jump right when you switch. If you can. Right as Protestant spawns so you can get a Center of Reformation. It'll help you to convert. Now this is potentially a bankruptable save. And what I mean by that is not that like the save is unsalvageable. Not even close. It's just that we may want to declare bankruptcy manually in order to get out of the current situation. 2,500 ducats in debt is a lot. It's going to take a long, long time to pay this off. And during that time, we're going to have to renew the loans. And every time we do that, our current interest rate is 4%, which means we're spending, on a 5-year loan, 20% of the principal gets consumed every time we renew it. So this loan, this debt is so large, we're probably going to be stuck in a spiral for a long, long time. We are able to repay one loan. I'm not going to do it just yet because I want to consider if it makes sense to bankrupt or not after we've taken care of some of the other problems. As far as other things, okay, so first thing I noticed, we have no advisors. Again, you almost always want to have a level 1 advisor, bare minimum, even if your economy is doing poorly. Even if we're losing money, I would still rather have the advisor than not, because they're just too valuable. Global tariffs plus 10%, it's not going to be worth it. We just want level 1. We'll take improved relations. Down here, morale of armies for sure. That will actually help our current engagement. It's possible that might be the edge that we need. We're now losing 9.8 ducats a month. That's okay. Don't worry. It'll be fine. We have 3 subjects. Wales, Iroquois, Gaeldom, and we have a colonial nation called Irish Canada, currently paying us nearly nothing. I'm going to go ahead and say that these guys are not the thing that are causing us to win wars. So first things first is with Wales, we're going to enable scutage. And with Gaeldom, we're going to enable scutage. We don't want them to join our wars, we just want their money. I will still also improve relations with them if we can. We don't currently have a diplomat available, that's okay. All right, as far as the other state slots go, Hudson Valley, it's still probably going to make us more money overall to do that. Not to mention we can build up prosperity. Let's just turn these on. Corruption is growing, I'm aware. Estates demand control provinces, that's fine. We'll give the nobles another province. Oh, and also that reminds me, with the clergy, since we've given them more land, we're going to revoke this land that's at 25% autonomy. It's going to piss them off slightly, well, actually a fair bit, but we want to get that autonomy down to 0%, so we get the other perks as well. Yes. And the nobles need one more province, which we will give them, say, this 28% iron mine, whatever, that seems fine. Okay, as far as clicks go, with the burghers, I want to hold off on actually doing the demand money click, because there's something important we need to talk about. A couple things first. Number one is we're over the relationship limit. We're at 5 out of 4 relations. We have an unset rival. Probably a good idea to just set anybody, even though we are above 50 power projection. I would just maybe pick somebody. So being over the relationship limit, we've got an alliance with the Commonwealth and an alliance with France. Commonwealth, we've got 23 favors with. I'm wondering who Commonwealth was supposed to help us against. They hate Bohemia, Muscovy, and Ottomans. None of which we're ever going to fight. France hates Burgundy, Spain, Austria. Like, I guess maybe we're hoping the Commonwealth will help us against Denmark? And France has probably been helping us against England. I don't know how England still has Normandy. Not crazy. This gentleman has done a very good job of powering through the missions. He's got a lot of these completed. That's nice. But I would probably consider getting rid of a relationship by integrating. Would be the way to solve this problem. We can start integrating either of them as soon as we've got improved relations high enough. So let's actually come back from Irish Canada. Let's stop spying on England. Let's let some time pass. Go down to speed 3 for a second. We're going to also definitely yes score this. We're going to turn those into full cores. Maybe that's why he had so much. Shoot, I shouldn't have actually cored Eriksford there. That was a misclick. I turned it into a state just because I wanted it to be making us a little bit more manpower and stuff. A little tiny bit more money. Okay, in this area, iron with 332 development. It's an okay trade good. None of this can be assigned to the burghers safely. That's definitely a great province for the manpower, for the 5 manpower, so let's give that to the nobles. These other ones, I'm just going to again give them to the clergy, because we want the money. We want to get rid of the autonomy penalty from the province. Alright, so what do we do next? Next on my list was so relationship limit. Right, so we're going to improve relations with you. And we're going to improve relations with this guy, get them into 190, start integrating them as soon as possible. Next, let's go back to talking about money. This is a big thing. Okay, this, I think, trade is like one of the most complicated things for people to get good at, I think, in this game. It's easy to understand base tax, it's easy to understand autonomy, it's easy to understand, you know, just conquering more clay, but trade can be confusing. The problem that this gentleman has is that he's collecting in 2 locations, the North Sea and in the English Channel. It makes sense. He wants to collect in the English Channel because he's conquered a bunch of English clay. The problem is that when you do this, you are getting huge penalties. We have only 2 trade power from the merchant being present, 17.7 from provincial trade power, and then we get this negative 65.3% multiplier because we're collecting from trade, not in our main city. This number is dynamic. It's not a flat 65.3. It just basically cuts whatever your trade power multiplier is in half. So if you had 200% trade power, you would end up with a negative 100% trade power penalty due to collecting from trade not in your main trade city. So basically, they just harm you like crazy. At the end of the day, we only have 12.1 trade power, resulting in 0.83 ducats. On top of that, when you collect from any node other than your main node, you get a penalty in your primary node. At the bottom of this tooltip, it says no transfer bonus due to merchant collecting in English Channel. Every merchant that you have that's transferring trade increases your trade power multiplier in your primary node by 10%. We have 5 merchants, which means we could have up to 50% more trade power multiplier in the North Sea, but because we're collecting in the English Channel, we lose out on all of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap this up. We're going to take a look at every merchant. North Sea, we definitely want to collect. That's fine. Gulf of St. Lawrence, we want to steer. Yes. Chesapeake Bay, I'm fine with that. English Channel, we're not going to have a guy there. And then here in this location, Champagne, I'm fine with that because we're going to do something in the English Channel. We're just not going to collect there. So this guy's fine. So we need to move the guy that's in the English Channel off. Let's move him to here. Why here? Because the way trade works is that depending on your development, you get an inland trade bonus. Instead of just getting 2 trade power per merchant, you get up to whatever your inland bonus is if they are in a node that looks like this, with this little tiny icon here that says, I am an inland node. Either it needs to be an inland node, or you need to be steering toward an inland node. Either way. So if we steer from Bordeaux toward this, we still get the inland trade bonus. So by steering here, we're turning that merchant into a 50 base trade power guy. And we're going to use that to force money out of the Rhineland west into Champagne, and then from Champagne into English Channel, etc. Now, there's a pretty good chance that if everyone over here is still steering the way we want them to go, see there's nobody trying to steer it away, we don't actually need a merchant here at all yet. So I'm actually going to recall both these guys as well, Chesapeake Bay and Gulf of St. Lawrence. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go to here. We're going to transfer with the guy that is in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. And we're going to go to Veen. We're going to transfer with the guy that was in the Chesapeake Bay. Okay, now I'm going to take a snapshot here because trade income is going to change pretty radically over the next 3 months as the merchants travel around. But I'll have that off on the other screen. Okay, so that takes care of collecting from trade in 2 places at least. Next up, we talked about unbalanced tech. There was a policy that we can turn on. I would definitely recommend turning this policy on, the diplomatic policy for trade efficiency, since we're having income problems. I don't like that we're behind time on Diplotech, but money is super important. And if doing this enables us to actually salvage the save, then we're going to do this. I'm going to turn this one on. That already is going to affect these numbers, but it's all part of the same thing. Like, what would I do to make things different, and how would we salvage it, etc. Next up, we have an unassigned colonist that we need to get out there. My guess is with this, we have a colony here that maybe was occupied recently, and that's why the colonist is not there. We definitely want to get the colonist sent out. And the other colony, we have a guy heading to Unani, and now we have a guy heading into Raritan. So apparently we're starting our 3rd colony, even though we've got this one. I would not try to run 3 colonies if you're having financial problems. Although this colony should finish within 1 year, so I guess it's pretty close to being acceptable. All right, one last thing before we can actually unpause and play for a bit is we have state edicts on. We should definitely turn these off. This is costing us a lot of money. We're gonna turn that off. And this edict here, protect trade. We talked about this in the last assay. Even though Lothian has this coastal sector of trade, you've got to remember, trade power efficiency is an additive multiplier. It's already at 313% multiplier because it's coastal. Protect trade adds 50, controlled by the burghers. The building is providing 50% as well, the marketplace. On top of that, we've got colonialism and from mercantilism. So by removing this state edict, we're not losing 50% trade power, we're only losing about 1/6 of the trade power, and it's costing us about 0.67 ducats a month to maintain. It's just not worth running. So we're gonna turn it off. The only one we could really consider is maybe in our capital, where we have a discount of 50% because it's the capital state. And even there, I don't think we need it right now. So we're gonna turn that one off. And conversions, we've already started. And back to estate interactions. So let's go ahead and wait a month till our income goes up from trade, presumably, and we can get a better click here. With the clergy, we would prefer for them to stay loyal. With the nobles, it'd be great if we could actually get their influence up a little bit higher first. I'm gonna go ahead and hire a guy, and then we're going to... I don't really want to piss these guys off yet, but we're so far behind on military tech that I think we have to. That general turned out to be a 112. Pretty trash overall. Let's just fire him. That does permit us to take the next tech, which we will take now. Yep, that will get rid of some of the unbalanced research. In fact, all of the unbalanced research is now gone. It also allows us to pick up a better cav and a better cannon. I do like the composition of the army. He only has 2 cav. If you're strapped for cash, I would even go down to no cav, though. And then just go down to the value cannon. Just pure infantry and a single value cannon. Okay. I think we're ready to go. All right, let's play for a bit. I feel like first episode of these assays is like, talk about everything. Second episode's actually play for a while. So we're probably only going to get a tiny bit in here. We did end up losing that fight. Kind of expected that we would. We are sending the majority of the army over there now. Do we have any unrest? Wow, we got a lot of unrest. Controlled by nobles, but that's because I pissed them off. We got lots of intolerance, war exhaustion, overextension. All right, let's just make sure that we're not looking at a rebellion popping up soon. Scottish separatists are upset in Ayrshire, Aberdeen, Westmarch. All right, and that's going to be because of the nobles. No, it's not the nobles. Why are they upset here? War exhaustion, non-accepted culture, intolerance. Right, back to non-accepted culture. We need to accept English and Scottish. We have to. Like, this is huge. If you're not getting enough manpower, a huge reason for that is that when we look at all these English culture provinces, every province that is not an accepted culture has a penalty of unrest, a penalty of 33% negative tax modifier, and a penalty of 33% reduced manpower. And again, this is an additive thing. So, like, if you only have 50% manpower efficiency and it's unaccepted, it takes you from 50% down to like 13% or 16% or whatever, and you barely get any. So we're going to accept English because it's the largest one that we can accept. It's going to make the biggest impact. And as soon as we get enough Diplo points, we're going to accept Scottish as well. That'll also reduce unrest and make things a little bit safer for us. All right, it has been 1 month. Last month, our trade income was 4.67 ducats in trade income. Well, this is prior as well, the 5.53. I don't ever trust it when it's on this, and you just recently loaded the save. So we had 4.67, now we're at 4.8 from trade. Even though we aren't collecting in the English Channel anymore, we are now making more money from trade than we were previously. And that's because now we have this multiplier here, transfer from Champagne, transfer from London. We have 2 merchants that are still trying to arrive. And on top of that, we're going to now move our pirates as well. Privateering, I think, is the right call here. I think that was correct. But what we want to do is sort by value and then find the node that has the most trade value that's within range. Genoa is probably within range because we're in the colonial era. We can probably get there. The person who has the most control determines the privateer efficiency multiplier. So it says the largest trade power share in the node, Tuscany, makes privateers 27.8% more efficient here. So Genoa node has 32 ducats in it. and it's got 557 total trade power in it. So what I like to do is you take this number divided by this number to create a ratio, 32.33 ducats divided by 557.2, and then you just use that as like a ratio. Keep that in the back of your mind. Next, we look at, say, English Channel. We've got 26 ducats there, divided by 583.1 trade power in the node, which is a smaller number than this one was. So that means that Genoa is better than the English Channel. Lubeck has 23 ducats with even more trade power, so we don't even need to do the math. It's just going to be obvious that smaller number, bigger number makes it worse, which means if we're going to privateer, we should be privateering in Genoa. So we're going to grab our privateers, put the guy in charge. Actually, I wanted him on the transports to get him over there. We're going to get this navy, and we're going to have them go privateer in Genoa, which is going to make us more money overall. Last month, spoils of war was 0.75 ducats in Lubeck. Let's see what we end up with after we let them get down to Genoa. Okay, we need to be improving relations here. We should probably top off relations with France or Commonwealth, just to make sure that they stay friendly. These guys are dying as they're out at sea, and actually, the movement speed's not going to be as important as privateering, I think. So let's go ahead and do something like that for now. All right, we will top off relations with the Commonwealth. Okay, losing 7.76 ducats a month. We're at 4.8 ducats in trade income now, up from 4.67. So slight increase. And we still have one more merchant to arrive. And actually, so now that we've decided that we're going to go for privateering in Genoa and we're not doing anything in the English Channel, let's reverse this merchant. So we're sending the trade not toward our former enemy in Burgundy, but toward the node we're going to privateer in. And we're going to send like pretty much all of our merchants now. We want to make sure are steering toward this node or toward the node we can collect in, if it's an option. So we got a guy coming over to Wien. He's just going to probably go this way. This guy's going to go this way, and this guy's going to go this way. That's all perfect. Cool. All right, I'm not going to worry about that rival. Okay, get that merchant assigned. Spoils of war is 1.74 ducats in Genoa, compared to the spoils of war of 0.81 is what we were making in Lubeck. So that's an extra 1 ducat a month. It's not a huge amount, but hey, it adds up. On top of that, our trade income is now at 5.18, up from 4.67. That's 10% more trade income. And part of that's probably because of the trade efficiency edict, but it's also, I don't know how to explain it in a way. It's just better, okay? Next up, we're going to do grant an admiralship here to get their influence up. Then we're going to, if we can, try to get their influence up to 75%. Anything we can give them that'll do that. Give them some... Let's give them this province. That'll take them up to 76%. Perfect. Sweet spot 75 plus. And now when we ask for money, we get a nice little infusion of cash. I still don't know if I want to try to do bankruptcy or if I want to try to work our way out of it. I probably would go in the way of bankruptcy, though, personally. So let's pretend like that's... Yeah, let's go that way. So we're going to do that. We're going to get those Diplo points. Use some of those Diplo points to promote Scottish. I know that Scottish is eventually going to be an accepted culture just due to the fact that it is in our primary culture group, right? But it doesn't matter. It's still going to make us more money right now, and it's just monarch points. It's not a big deal. We're now only losing 5 ducats a month. We've got the missionary working. We've got the colonies going. The forts. We don't need the fort on for now. We are broke. Enabled Scudich on 2. We do have a lot of admin points. We could try to increase tariffs on this really crappy colonial nation, but I don't think that's going to be worthwhile. If anything, we should probably have considered is before pissing off the burghers, we should have done some development. Development would persist even if we did go bankrupt. Yeah, regardless of the fact that they're upset, I'm still going to just do some. We have spare admin points, and admin points don't get lost when you go bankrupt, so if we really wanted to, we could turn on state edicts for even a little bit more savings, but let's just do this for now. Get a little bit more admin out. And I'd also consider bump and stab if we're going to declare bankruptcy. So let's do... We can get a little bit more admin points out of these guys. If we want to do that, let's do it like that. Then do that. And then... What colonial policy do we have right now? We have native coexistence. All right, perfect. That's good. We do have a disaster at 86% due to less religious unity than 50%. Wow. Okay, that's going to fire in just a few months. That's brutal. Okay, we're trying to convert Tuad. Let's definitely turn on the missionary strength edict here. Let's definitely see if we could hire a missionary strength guy. Can't do that. We have a little bit more cash. All right, I'm gonna have to take a break here. We're on to 25 minutes here. I want to play this for at least one more episode, though. I think there's a solution to this that might not require bankruptcy. So, all right, I'll see you guys in the next episode. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.